You already know what time it is. I am a former certified forklift driver, so I know things. Tales of a former certified forklift driver. Boy, I should have taken a shower. I'm disgusting. $334. Not so bad. I got that thing when you can get them for $6,000. Excuse me. I'm choking here. And then I took the original engine out and I put a 440 in there from a 1973 RV. The original engine's all around me right now. It's over here. But the 440, it only cost Riley. I had to shave. I had to look presentable for a funeral. My goodness, I'm choking over here. What up, Gina? Guess what? I'm live again. That's all I do anymore. I drove the Roadrunner in town. I drove it around for about 2.5 hours today. It was great. It was very therapeutic. And I was looking for something to do. But I didn't really want to do anything. So I just drove around, which was great. And then I was like, well, I don't have any friends. I guess I'll get back on TikTok. Which one you need, Bishop? Man, what is going on here? That's right, Gina. I know where it's at. I know where it's happening. Right here. Benjamin Moore here. Is that a? Are you a paint company? Heck yeah, Rowan Co. That's actually somebody else's truck. You know what? Hold on. Let me just get this out of my throat here. Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. Okay. The truck belongs to somebody else, but I'm trying to get it running for him. Yeah, Bishop. I like pretty much everything. That's my problem. What's up, Hollywood, over on YouTube? No, I just my business model is not so great. I get these cars and then I fix them and then I intend to sell them to fund my automotive nonprofit, and then I never sell them because I like them. Appreciate it, Dakota. So anyway, I was going to take the Charger in town tonight and just rip around town. And I got out on the highway in the Charger. The lights are, 1969 lights. One of them's pointing this way and the other one's pointing this way anyway. So they're all jacked up. And a car behind me is flashing its lights at me. And I was like, listen, hey, look, I'm going a little bit slower. I got a little bit of a lower rear end in it. I get it. And But I'm like, oh, maybe they're telling me something. So I pull over on the side of the highway, and my rear lights don't work on the Charger. I'm like, all right, that's just not gonna cut it. So I had to make a big loop around, come back to the shop, and then I was just gonna stay here. And I was like, no, I'm gonna treat myself. So I got in the Roadrunner and I took that into town. Town is like 30, 45 minutes away. So it's just highway cruise, and then I drove around. It was great. And then I almost raced a Mustang. Chattahoochee. Bishop, I would rather drive an old vehicle. Matter of fact, I drove this. I just ate too. Usually I do the whole grill out thing, and that's what I just did. So I just got done. My most sincere apologies. But I drove this 69 Roadrunner up to Michigan in June. I would rather have taken. It's normally like an 8-hour drive, but I took. It was 12 taking back roads and state routes. So I split it up into 2 days, 6 hours, 6 hours a day. I would much rather do that. I do, Luke. Matter of fact, I watch it enough. I recently made a video on YouTube. It's on one of the shorts, and over here on TikTok, it's just one of the videos. I found a blooper that I've never seen before, and I've never heard about it before, and I've never seen anybody make a video about it before. But it's where John Snyder gets out of the car, and I think he falls down a little bit of a hill. But anyway, if you want to see it, it's there. But I watched it enough to pick up that because I've never seen it before in all of my years of being a fan. Haggerty was bought by State Farm. That's unfortunate. Over on YouTube, Hollywood. Man. I was with State Farm a long time ago, and in my 2003 Jeep Liberty, and my registered address was my parents' address because I was bouncing around between apartments and I was in school. So I'm not going to go get my license changed every year that I move to a cheaper apartment. So, and I was paying like, I don't know, like $43 a month for insurance on that thing. And then one day State Farm comes in and is like, hey, your insurance is going from 43 to 115. And I was like, what? Huh? What? Why? And I even went to this is back when I still wrote checks. And I went to the office and I was like, yo, this is like crazy. Like this is, like 103% increase. And they're like, well, the registered address has all these other cars registered there. So we feel like your coverage should be higher. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense because just because they have nicer cars and the house is nice, I've got to pay. That doesn't, no. So I dropped them. That was my last dealing with State Farm. Monte Carlo, I don't have a recommendation for that. I couldn't even tell you one that I'm familiar with. I always try to get the things that are kind of like not the most expensive. Like when you go on AuxAuto, you don't get the cheapest one, you don't get the most expensive one, you get the one in the middle. Honestly, the cheapest kill switch is disconnecting your battery. Hollywood over on YouTube. I did not know that Haggerty was bought by State Farm, and that is very disappointing. Yeah, Regina, AuxAuto is great. Matter of fact, with my little automotive nonprofit, which is AuxAuto, when I buy things for other people's cars, I can go through a little fill out process for the tax exempt, and they do that just on their website, which is kind of fantastic. I gotta submit my EIN and title and a bunch of other things, but I can still get it tax-free. Wholly over on YouTube. That truck is owned by a family that's had it since it was new, and it caught fire about 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm trying to get it running for them at no cost to them, because that's kind of the whole theme of what I'm doing. It's not necessarily a necessity, because that's kind of what I focus on, but I thought it was a cool story, and I told them that that's what I would do. So basically, everything under the hood had to be replaced, and I found a donor truck up in Kentucky about a month ago. It had the ignition coil, the distributor, the wires, the carburetor, the electronic ignition wiring harness that went to the module. And right now I've got I got the bed off of it because I'm replacing the fuel tank and fuel lines. And once I get that done, I should be able to get it back to them. So it's just a cruiser. Comforting souls. The general is a comforting soul. Austin? What you mean a photo? I wouldn't use a photo. What I do is I go buy a giant backdrop and I pay thousands of dollars to make it hyper realistic, and then I hang it up back there. And then I get on TikTok to promote my automotive nonprofit. No, it's real. Oh, Carol, Gina, I actually made a video, and I thought that I sent it to you, but apparently I didn't push send. No, Austin, these are the Charger's mine. This hood right here is to. Oh, you know what? Hold on. There's a 68 300 back here, and then the Roadrunner. This truck I'm working on for somebody else. I got it jumped off with the Malibu. I'm driving a Malibu right now. It's my parents' car because my truck's at their house. And I don't know. I think it's the battery, because I put it on the Malibu and it started up pretty quickly. Trousdale, like the city of Trousdale. What's up, Sand Mountain? Sneaking in here. Gina, I thought it was a starter too, but I don't know. I don't think it is. I think, I don't know. Maybe if I left the key on and the battery just completely died, but it didn't take long having it jumped off with the Malibu. Yes, work sucks. Work is hard. So I don't know. I don't really know. It's one of those things that. So earlier, I was storing I think it was like a 2003 Mustang for this kid, young guy. And him and his friend came out here because they had to do some work on the car because he's moving to Ohio, which was great because they're like, 20 years old, into cars, like all the old stuff, but they were working on his Mustang and getting it running. And I think he had the same problem that I was having with the 300 because it wouldn't start. It wouldn't, the battery charger that I was using, because a lot of these new battery chargers, they're kind of like, they don't have any torque. Like if they read the battery being dead, they'll just assume that it's a piece of junk battery, but they won't charge it up anyway. You got to get one like that was made before 2002, I guess. So we hooked it up to a battery. Matter of fact, we got that car running off the battery that's in the 300, and it started up. So I think it was a battery issue, but I don't know. SB Clips, when did you start watching it? Heck yeah, Austin. I still got my old Dale Earnhardt memorabilia from back in the day. Ghost, it's got the paint scheme on it that's similar to the first 5 episodes, including the cross flags on the back of it. BMX, yeah, that's a 1969 Dodge Charger. Heck yeah. Cowboy Rider. I can start them up, but the problem is when I'm on here, typically somebody will come in and want me to start it. They'll come and go. Next person will come in, which I get. That's cool. I don't expect anybody to stay here. But then I end up starting the car like 7 to 1,400 times a night. And I actually burnt the starter out in the 300 back here. The roof that's up is the 300. So it's hard to just start them every single time. But I do have videos of starting all these cars. And usually what I'll do is toward the end of it, I'll probably stay on here for a couple hours because all I'm really doing is promoting my automotive nonprofit, which is AuxAuto, that provides financial mechanical assistance to people that depend on their transportation for a living. I basically pay the shop bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicle safe or operational. And then I come in here, I showcase some of the cars that I have that I own, like the Roadrunner and the Charger, and some of the things I'm working on, like this Ford truck, just to get people to follow, subscribe. What else do you do? Hang out, and then hopefully one day all those subscriptions turn into a way to pay for these AuxAuto assists. I've done 15 of them so far to the tune of about 15,000 bucks, so they average out to about 1,000 a piece. Sometimes they're more, sometimes they're less, but that's kind of what I've been working with here lately. The 76 Corvettes, no, if they're anything like this 81 that I got in here, the only problems that I have are those dadgum door handles. That's like the worst design I've ever seen in my entire existence in the world of the galaxy of the places that I've been in the lifetime of mine. But I mean, it's a 350. I'm pretty sure it's a 350 transmission also in the 81. I think the 76. So I'm learning about Corvettes because I've not been the biggest fan of Corvettes or Mustangs in my life, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody have any issues with the drivetrain. My biggest issue with the Corvette, like I said, I think the 76 and the 81 is the same body style, are those dadgum door handles. Like they're kind of, they're flush, and it's a plate, and you push the plate down, and it's supposed to move this metal arm, but the metal arm is like 12 or 13 inches long, and it's not very rigid. So when I got this car, the Corvette that I have was donated to my automotive nonprofit, AuxAuto, and it's either I'm either going to fix it and sell it and give the guy that owns it what he wants out of it, or he's just going to donate it outright. But it took me about 45 minutes just to get into the car because of those dadgum door handles. Hey, thanks for that thing on my head. Who was that with the 85 vet? Oh, Ghost. Is the 85 body style the same as the 81? Okay, so that's after they changed it to that. Gina, I like every instrument. I even like the glockenspiel or the agasquak. Blonde Dawn, I would, but I cannot afford anything right now. Okay, so you had like the next gen body style. Dang, Rod, what you doing that for? You trying to sharpen your fingers? Appreciate it, Wild Dragonfly. Kenneth, you know what's up, TNN. I swear, this music that's playing right now is quite literally what Dollywood was when I was a kid. Appreciate it, Rudd. I mean, literally, I do appreciate it because I mean, when I come on here, I'm not just trying to promote things that I do. I'm trying to promote an automotive nonprofit that benefits other people who depend on their transportation for getting through life. People that are really trying to make it, they're honestly giving it a shot. But unless you live in a city like New York or Chicago or LA or, you know, those other cities that nobody really wants to live in, you depend on your transportation literally to get you to work, to school, to pick up kids, medical appointments, or anything like that. And if you don't have that and you can't afford to fix that, what are you going to do? I mean, there's a lot of nonprofits for, you know, feeding people and homeless stuff, and that's all great. But what about the people that can't afford their $789.23 automotive bill that gets them to work? That's where AuxAuto comes in. But I'm also very small, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm promoting, and I'm trying to gain my social media presence, or grow my social media presence. But you know, I figure people like the General Lee. They like the Roadrunner. They like the things I'm working on. They like this place that I'm at. This is Auxland, the automotive complex that I bought a few years ago. And I mean, to be quite honest, I show off things that I'm interested in, and I hope people follow along, so those follows turn into a way to pay for all of these things that I'm doing. AuxAuto is a 501c3 in the state of Tennessee. It's a tax-exempt organization. You can even look it up. You can even look it up on IRS if you wanted to. Lee the General. It's 2.5 inch from the manifold to an H pipe to glass packs and right out the rear. South Carolina. Heck yeah, I'm Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. That's where that banjo and this bluegrass comes from. So also, I feel like if there was a way to repay people for liking and following and sending a live, that would be cool. I don't have a way to do that, but like every time you like this, or every time you send it to somebody, or anytime you comment or whatever, you're basically helping me promote a nonprofit. So you're doing a good thing. Holy, you're in Spartanburg. What's the other city that's Spartanburg and Spartanburg / what? So I got YouTube on one device, I got TikTok on another, and that's when I'm talking and you're not seeing the names in either one of my lives. That's why. Yeah, Greenville, Spartanburg. So, holy, over on YouTube, I got to tell you this because I used to have two 1968 Dodge Chargers. This one right here is a 69, and I sold them in 2003 for $3,500. Which was normal at the time. But if I hung on to those cars, they probably would be worth enough money to put my kid through college, even if she wanted to go through 8 years of it. But I sold those cars to buy a ring for a girl that's from Spartanburg, Greenville, that I never bought the ring for and never got married to because she married my roommate. I don't dislike your city. I'm just saying, when I see Greenville, Spartanburg, that's what I think of. But she's great. He's great. He was my one of my really, really, really close friends. It is a generally. As the young folks say, sometimes it just be like that, Holy. No, Ethan, it's not a movie car. It's just a replica. Originally the Charger, it's from the Bowling Green area. It was originally a B5 blue vinyl top white hat special car. And then it was bought by somebody from the dealership. From the dealership, a guy named Duder bought it. I'd like to do the genealogy on the cars that I own also, and my family, but that's a whole different story. Guy named Duder bought it, and he painted it orange, painted the hood scoops black, put a racing stripe on it. Did a good job on it. Fixed some of the issues that it was having. Duder sold it to a guy named Eric. Eric had it for a little bit, and then Eric sold it to my dad in the late 90s. And then in 2007, my dad made me think that the car got stolen. But it was actually getting some, it was getting this done to it. This Chevy is bananas. Hello there. Holly over on YouTube. Yeah, so you know how I feel. I have a picture of those. My daughter, who got me this jacket, found a picture of those 268 Chargers, and when she showed them to me, I physically, literally, actually got sick to my stomach because I don't really get rid of things, and I sold those cars, and I felt kind of sick about it because, I mean, but nobody would have known. Nobody would have known that would have happened. This Chevy is bananas. It's going pretty good. Riker, it is also my dream car, and sometimes you can make your dreams a reality. Wyoming, what the heck happened? Dang, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Wyoming. But you made it in here. I mean, I'm pretty honored about that. What's up, That Blue? Welcome back. So are you going to, Wyoming cowgirl, how long you got to stay in there? John Tack. Man, that sounds horrible. I've been to one too many funerals this week, so you're not allowed to make that happen. Just so you know. We doing all right, hanging out. We're hoping that Wyoming cowgirl gets better. She's in the hospital right now. $104.3. That's like a dadgum radio station. $104.3. The Fever will cool you down if you're smoking hot. Midnight, you gotta make it. You gotta make it happen. Austin, which part's AI? Like me, are you saying that I am not real? Good. Put it on the whole hospital Bluetooth. I can start it, but I can't start it every time somebody asks because I end up starting the car 230,000, 100 billion times alive. And so what I do, I come in here and I promote my automotive nonprofit. And then I showcase some of the things that I work on, some of the cars that I own, and it's just hard to do that because then I have to buy starters every month. Clip, the old green one's a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner with its original 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner 383 with a 4-speed. Optioned, 2-door, big block, documented car. Wilt over on YouTube, what's up from Atlanta, Georgia? You know where Athens is, Wilt? Yeehaw, John. Oh, and that's right. We're not selling courses. I can go on a rant about people selling courses on here. Clipped, yeah. Usually, what I'll do, I like to do these lives for a couple hours because I don't really have any friends. I have friends, but they also have families and they have kids, and my kids grown, and this is it. These are my friends right here. So I'll go live for a couple hours, and then towards the end of it, I'll take a little tour of the shop and end up outside and kind of show you what I got going on. Start a couple of the cars, but I can't really do it every single time. This Chevy is bananas. I keep missing everything. Wilt over on YouTube. I'm pretty familiar with Athens. I actually have a key to the city of Athens, Clark County. Hodge Restorations. I feel like I've heard that before. Shepherd the lost sheep. Breaker one, breaker one. I may be crazy, but I ain't dumb. Midnight, sometimes, as the young folks say, sometimes it just be like that. This Roadrunner, actually, so YouTube is flipped, but TikTok is normal. So YouTube is reading this as NNT. TikTok is reading it as TNN. This Roadrunner came from Detroit, and it got Z-Bart rust-proofed, which probably saved it from turning it into yard art. Rams or Buccaneers, Weston, over on YouTube? I have no clue. I was going to try to pick one randomly and give you a reason, but I really can't even do that. I haven't really watched sports since I quit playing sports in the late 90s and got inundated with trying to make a living playing music. The Joker, the Midnight Toker. Were you in here before? Because I think I made that reference once. I can start them up, but it's really difficult to start it up every time somebody asks because, people come and go, which is cool. And it's hard to start them up every single time because I'll be live for a while, not because I have so many people that watch AuxAuto, but I'm usually on for so long because this is what I do on Saturday night. I wish I could, Wyoming. Sorry, Weston, to disappoint you on YouTube. Well, welcome, Joker. Saltmaster, I'm pretty sure this jacket is just a Dodge promo. I don't think it was anybody's specific. And I've heard Casey Kane. I've heard a couple of names, but my daughter got it at a flea market for me because she's like, oh, that's something my dad would wear. And she's right. Matter of fact, I wore this jacket driving around the Roadrunner today for about 2.5 hours. A Sunday morning? Oh, it's already Sunday morning, isn't it? Where you are. It's still technically Saturday night for another 30 minutes over here. That gives you something to look forward to once you get done with all your spinal taps. Was I at a car show? I've been to a couple of car shows, but honestly, I think I'm done going to car shows just to go to them. The last one I went to was a Holly Mo party in Bowling Green, and I entered the car show. But the thing is I don't ever expect to win anything because there's not really a class for, there's not really an award for most original but drive the crap out of it car. They either got to be really pristine and shiny, and I don't really have anything like that, or it's 110% all original, which I don't have anything like that. But like I'll enter the 69 Roadrunner. It's got its original engine in it. It's got its original transmission, interior paint, and everything. I've got a couple of things that I've had to fix on it, like the radiator, the water pump, but I drive the dang thing. I drove it to Michigan and back for 1,200 miles. So I think what I'm going to start doing is getting like booths at car shows and then promoting my automotive nonprofit, which is AuxAuto. So instead of just entering them, I want to be a part of them, is the point of my whole speech here. And slowly, that's kind of what the Charger's turning into, because when it got restored, I'm going to have to go. My tail lights went out today. I was going to drive it around town, but I've got no tail lights. What's up, Black Death? I'm just hanging out, promoting my automotive nonprofit, hanging out in the shop here at AuxAuto. Jackson's a fan of that 1979 Ford F-150 with the 351 modified in it. Right now I've got the bed taken off of it because I'm putting a fuel tank in it, replacing some of the fuel lines. Today I procrastinated quite a bit. I was supposed to work on that, but then I decided I'm going to get the drone out and fly it around. And while I was plugging in the batteries so they would charge up, I started going live, and then I ended up on live for like 2.5 hours, and I forgot about the drone thing. Didn't work on the truck, and then the sun was going down, so I decided I wanted to go drive around for a couple hours, took the charger out, realized that when I got on the state highway that I've got no taillights. So I turned around, took the back road to avoid the deputies, and took the Roadrunner in town, drove it around. Was looking for something to do, couldn't find anything. Drove back here and got alive again. So I got nothing done. Nothing done at all. Nothing. I got nothing done at all. That naughty chicken. Bullet, I don't know. The brake lights worked. The headlights work. When I turn the lights on, there's just no, but it's on both sides. You know how the Charger rear end, the taillights are. Neither one of them were on. So I have no idea. And it's never done that before. Where's the vintage place there? This Chevy is bananas. This Chevy. Braxton, yeah, I'll go back there and I'll show them towards the end of whenever I'm gonna get off of here. What time is it? It's only 11:30. We're at near Knoxville. I'm pretty familiar with that place. Cry baby, it's a '79 Ford. That's right, Jebediah. We're running moonshine. Oh shoot, I know Maryville. My brother went to school there. My first classic that I had a relationship with was a 1972 Plymouth Gold Duster. But the first classic that I actually owned was this Charger after my dad signed it over to me when I became an adult. Oh yeah, I know Marvel. The Marvel Rebels. Oh, what county is that? Blount County, right? How could I forget Blount County, right? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Grant? Oh, I thought I saw Van Goat sneak in there for a second. Grant, this truck's actually not mine. Everything else in there in the shop is, but that truck belongs to a family that's had it since it was new. Had a cool story, been sitting for a long time, so I want to get it running for them. Where at? You mean here or in Knoxville? Sir Ronning, that is a 1969 Dodge Charger. My daily right now is a 2012 Chevy 2500 service truck. Man, is it your first time over in Knoxville? Or East Tennessee? Long name. That is a Roadrunner, 69 Roadrunner. Good eye. So you know about Dollywood, you know about Pigeon Forge, you know about Gatlinburg. You know about the lakes out there. Bullet, where do I get them? Pretty much anywhere possible. This Chevy is bananas. Like Douglas Lake. The French Broad River. Where, crybaby? I'll buy you dinner, Wyoming. Any of them, they were all flooded by the TVA. No, I mean, have we talked before, crybaby? I know Cookeville pretty extensively. Cookeville Boat Dock. Okay. That it's acceptable, Wyoming, but only from you, because we know you got some stuff going on. What museum is that near Cookeville? I'm curious. Joey, I want to ride in it too. I took it out tonight, but I don't have any taillights, so I had to turn around and come back. Bullet, I'm sitting on a bench seat from a 1969 Chrysler Newport. Dang, what's everybody doing in Cookeville? Well, I mean, you gotta drift that wheelchair. Lock one of those sides in and just drift around those corners. Yeah, that Chevy is bananas. Gatlinburg is worth visiting. So is Pigeon Forge. It's like the poor man's Vegas. But I mean, you got to go. This state park, though, is where it's at. There's a lot of trails. So you can just really get away. That's kind of the draw, at least for me. Dang, you went from like Cookeville to Los Angeles? Do I know you? Smoky Mountain State Park, that's the one. When'd you move to LA, crybaby? When's the Memory Lane car show, John Tack? Yeah, go to Dollywood. Do I have a NASCAR guy? I used to. It was a guy named Dale Earnhardt. Maybe you've heard of him. That was my dude, man. And then it was Jimmy Johnson. A little bit later, I quit watching NASCAR in probably 2006 or 7. But Johnson was my last. That was the last guy that I watched. And I met Jimmy Johnson, which was kind of cool. At the time, I was driving a truck for Lowe's, and he was racing for Lowe's, and I had the unique opportunity to go to a race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and I got to hang out in the driver's meeting with a movie project that I was working on at the time, and I told Jimmy Johnson that I was rooting for him because I also drive for Lowe's, but I drive a dual tandem 20-ton flatbed. Where'd Crybaby go? Blinker boy, get that 69 Charger. So how long did you live in the Cookeville area? I'm curious. No, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. I'm a former certified forklift driver. I can take it. Dang, Wyoming still certified. So since you don't live there anymore, Crybaby, where did you live? Where'd you live in Cookeville? So you know if I said like Jefferson, Washington. All right, 72 Nova. John Tag, I want to go there wherever that is. G-Do, that is 1979 Ford F-150. That's a truck. I don't own that truck. Everything else in the shop I own. There's also a 68 300 back here. And I got a couple other cars on the property. The complex here is Auxland, the automotive complex that houses AuxAuto, the automotive nonprofit. That's what I'm doing here, promoting my automotive nonprofit that basically fixes people's cars for people that can't afford to make them safer operational. Towards Gainesboro, work downtown Cookeville. Okay, all right. Real deal, I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure it's Case Kane. Yeah, Smoky Mountains. There's a lot of stuff to do over there. East Tennessee's gorgeous. Heck yeah, John Tack. Representing that Smoky Mountain. I got to go check the specs on the end line for the rotary girder. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oak Ridge, the secret city. Crybaby, were you in the Cookeville area long enough to know what Crazy George's Bridge is? Or were you just here for a couple years? That's my stomping ground. Johnson City, or Bristol. Dang, so, all right, without, like, what years were you there? Here's the reason I asked, though, because there was one time I was talking to somebody, and they were eerily familiar with a lot of things that I'm familiar with, and it turned out to be my little brother who was just messing with me. Okay. I was still there then. Interesting. That's pretty cool, though. Were you in school at the time? Because I may or may not have been a substitute teacher. No, that was before then. Yeah, that was before 2011. Charles B., that is in fact a 1969 Dodge Charger, generally replica. No, it's not a movie car, it's just a replica. Big trucker, I will start them up, but towards the end of when I get off of here, because earlier when I would do these lives, like a couple of months ago, I would end up starting the cars 1,500 times every 20 minutes. And it's not that great on the starter. Yeah, like Charles, I will. That's how I usually kind of end these things. I'll do these for a couple hours. I come on here to promote my automotive nonprofit, which is AuxAuto. Essentially, I pay the shop and mechanic bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicles safe or operational, that depend on them for things like going to work, going to school, medical appointments, or whatever they're doing just to be successful. And towards the end of here, I'll walk around the shop and the cars. Keith Hyatt, what are you talking about? East Tennessee? Banjo, I don't have a Nova. Tsunamic, you are correct. Avanda, I said hello earlier, didn't I? I saw you sneaking in there. No Dodge Daytona, but I do have a Dodge Charger. Right there. So I got YouTube on one device. So this is YouTube pointing at the Charger. And this is TikTok pointing at the Charger. How'd you go from Oak Ridge to West Memphis? That's quite a change. Drabby, you certainly can. You gotta take these baby steps and figure out a way to make it a reality. New Mexico. You just keep going west. The Knight in Broken Armor. Thank you, sir. The truck's not mine. I'm working on it for somebody else. Yeah, Vanda tours around the whole country and the world. Drabby, I will towards the end of whenever I get off the live, which I don't know when that's going to be. Just depending on how things go and how tired I get. But at the end of it, I'll walk around. I'll show some of these cars. Start a few of them up, but I can't do it, 40, 100 times a night. It's not that great on the starters. Yeah, John Tech, I gotta get a more HD green screen. That's what I need. I'll work on it. I was actually gonna kind of sit differently so I could project a projector and show like my YouTube on the back wall while I'm hanging out. I might do that later. Doc Holiday. Yeah, the oldest car is probably at 68. Drab, if you don't want to hang out or for that, I do have videos starting all these cars. And I got videos of me driving them and showcasing them. I got some burnouts in the Charger, but not any donuts. All right, Evander, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. I mean, I've got videos of me doing them. I can't, I don't even think the internet will reach down to where I do my little burnouts. I got a couple of mason jars. Appreciate it, Matthew Lee. Always living the dream. Yeah, I got that, and I got a shop burnout in the 300. No, Chris, I'm not in a part of the country where people get offended about everything. That's a sweet jacket. How much? It's this much sweet. Brandon, that's a 1969 Dodge Charger. Beauty's in the back of the beholder. Yeah, people just need to not get so offended so quick. I think, now, you know what? I probably shouldn't. I can't be sharing too many opinions because before you know it, I'll be going on a rant about all these people that are selling courses on TikTok and claiming they make $80,000 a month. Oh. I don't want to get copyrighted. I got to stick with the free stuff. J-Type, the green car is a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. Oh, like the car was the Dukes of Hazzard? Oh, hi. It's okay, you are forgiven. Thou hath been forgiven. Matthew Lee, the Charger's got a 440 in it, but the 440 is from a 1973 RV. The original 383 is actually sitting right next to me over here. I got it disassembled because I was trying to diagnose the oil pressure issue, but it's also been down for about 3 years. I got the heads over there. I got the block here. I got the cam, the push rods, the rockers. The heads are over there. And then everything else is over behind me over here. Yeah, that's gonna be an expensive fix there. That 73 440 that you got in your Roadrunner is probably the same 440 that I've got in the Charger right now, because that one came out of an RV. That's after they detuned everything and we're trying to save money on gas. And I got TikTok on one device. I got YouTube over here, TikTok over here. So if it sounds like I'm talking to people that don't exist or that aren't in the chat stream, I'm not losing my mind. I've lost that a long time ago, but that's why that is. Just for a little bit of an explanation. Full transparency. Tsunamic, it is. It is also AuxAuto on YouTube. The only one that is different is Facebook. It's actually Auxilium Auto of Tennessee, but that was the first one that I made. Everything else is AuxAuto. Aux is short for Auxilium, which is Latin for to help, aid, or assist. But there's so many syllables. AuxAuto, so many. I don't know. There's so many. AuxAuto is 2 syllables, and it's easier to pronounce. When the beep boop bop boop beep boop boop. When did I acquire that? Over the last I don't know 30 something years. Hold on, I gotta connect the puzzle pieces. Yeah, you can build up those early '70s 440s. That's for dang gum sure. 99 bottles of med on the wall. Meds on the wall. Yeah, Alex. Towards the end of my little live thing here, we'll look at all of them. But it's hard to show every single one whenever somebody wants to see it because then I just end up getting up and getting down and starting the car 400 times. So what I started doing, because I've got videos of these on AuxAuto, TikTok, and on YouTube, which you can see them. Even on Facebook, I think. No, on YouTube they're broken up into playlists, so you can see whatever you want to see. But it's hard to just do it right then. But I know nowadays everything is, I want it now. But towards the end of it, I'll go show off the cars. Showcase is the word I like to use. Yeah, Wyoming sounds like the wrong kind of party. Appreciate it, Gene. The green one's got its original wheels on it. Everything on that car is original except for the tires, the radiator, the water pump, and some of the machine work that's been done on the engine. Pull out the engine, like, you want me to go, like, take the engine out of the car on the live? I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I do these lives for a long time, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it until 4 in the morning. And then what? Just put it back in? Ain't no 40-minute job. Hampter. I don't even have a battery in the truck right now. It's back here in the 68 300. Paul over there on YouTube, that is a 1969 Dodge Charger, generally replica. What up, Lucas? Yeah, Gene, I'm actually going to do it here pretty soon, maybe in like 10 minutes. We'll go take a tour of some of the stuff that I got over here and the stuff in the shop, and then I'll sign off here after we go through all that. Jaden, it is a replica from that show. Yes, it is not a screen used Dodge Charger. Because you know what, tomorrow, during the day, I'm probably going to go live also. Because what I'm doing here is promoting my automotive nonprofit, which is AuxAuto. AuxAuto provides financial mechanical assistance to people that depend on their transportation for a living. I basically pay the shop bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicles safe or operational. And I come on here and I showcase some of the projects that I'm working on, some of the cars that I have, like the 69 Roadrunner, the Charger, the 300, and some of the projects that I'm working on for other people, like this truck. And I just hope and I try to get people to follow along, subscribe, and then one day all those subscriptions will turn into a way to pay for these AuxAuto assists. J-Tyke, it does not have the roll cage. It doesn't have the push bar on it either. Work in progress, but I got the hard part done. I've got the charger that looks like a General Lee. Angel, I do not even have a battery in the truck. No, I haven't checked out any links because I'm still on live. Dang, I'm like dadgum near close to 6,000 people on TikTok. I tell you what, that's what we'll do. If there is any way to get to 6,000 followers in the next 20 or 30 minutes by sharing or liking the live from my automotive nonprofit, AuxAuto. AuxAuto is a 501c3 in the state of Tennessee. It's a legit nonprofit, tax-exempt organization. You can look for it and search for it on irs.gov. It exists. And that's what I'm doing, is promoting my automotive nonprofit. That's why I'm here. Sometimes we talk about real life stuff. Sometimes we learn things. Sometimes I go on rants about people selling courses on TikTok that claim to make $80,000 every 2 minutes. And I talk about some of those people that I've debunked, but that's beside the point. Don't get schnookered because they don't make that much money. Selling digital products, faceless accounts. J-Tyke, I had 2 other 68 Chargers back in the day, but I sold them in 2003 for $3,500. Kurt 15, that is a generally back there. It's a good eye you got there. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. It's a good eye. It's a good eye. It's good. It's good. It's a good eye. No, Sin, I'm more of a under the hood guy, mechanical stuff. I did buy a 69 Imperial because I wanted to start doing some body work on it. That's why I got this welder package deal from Eastwood. But I have yet to do anything with that, and it's been a couple of years. But I bought a 69 Imperial that had some rust in it. But otherwise, the rust was intentional because somebody thought they were going to inherit this car. And when they didn't, they put a hose pipe down the engine. Actually, this is the engine right here. Where's my, to the Imperial. And then I bought a 69 Newport so I could cut parts out of the structure and put in the 69. And I keep putting that on the back burner. Lord Farquhar. Yeah, as long as you got to have more tire than wheel. But that's only my opinion. Do your thing. But when you've got more wheel than tire, it's just not, can't do it. No, it's like squatted trucks and cambered cars. It's not my thing. I don't hate people for it, but I just don't like it. Yeah, you gotta have more rubber than metal. Death comes sooner. That is a Charger. No, I've not worked on any hydrogen cars. They're Jesse Fish. Ford Focus is a great car. That is a 1969 Dodge Charger generally. Of course, I'm a kid. I'm a child of the '80s, so I like, um, the trucks with the big tires on it, but not the big wheels on it. I don't mind lowered trucks either. Matter of fact, I think that's something that is acceptable in the tire to the rubber to metal ratio. If you've got a lowered truck and you've got more metal than rubber, I feel like that is more acceptable than one that's jacked up and you've got more metal than rubber. I think we could probably agree on that. Because even if it's not my thing, I can still appreciate what they're going for on a lowered one. I can't do that on cambered cars, and I can't do that on squatted trucks, but I can see that on lowered ones. Mall crawlers, I like that. Can I get carbon fiber in different colors? I mean, you can always paint it. Sir Roland, I can start one, but I'm going to do it here in a minute. Usually I go on live for a couple hours and promote my automotive nonprofit that basically I pay the shop bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicles safe or operational. And then I come on here to try to promote it, get people to follow along, subscribe. I got TikTok on one device. I got YouTube on another one. And towards the end of it, I'll go showcase some of these a little more detailed and show the shop and whatnot. But it's hard to do that every time somebody asks, because then I'm basically just walking around the whole time. Sir Roland! The green car is a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner with its original 383 4-speed. It also has a lot of documentation with it, which is one of the things that drew me to it. Carbon fiber generally. Sir Roland, the Roadrunner is actually a local car. When I got done, oh man, I don't want to bore you with a story, but I spent a lot of my adult life raising my kid, and I didn't work on cars. And as she got older, I wanted to find another charger to work on and fix this one, some little tweaky things that I had to work on. But I couldn't afford one because the cheapest one that I could find was $14,000 for a rusted out, no interior, no glass, no engine shell of a car. So I ended up finding there's a 68 Chrysler 300 back here that I found, and I got that one going. So anyway, when I was looking for another project after I got the 68 done, I put some feelers out on the socials, and somebody that I knew said, "Hey, my dad's got a 69 Roadrunner, but I don't think he's ready to part with it because he's had it since it was new." And then unfortunately, he passed away about a year later. And she got a hold of me, and she's like, "Okay, now I've got this car. I don't know what to do with it. Somebody offered me $5,000 for it." And I was like, "No, let me come look at it, because all I know is that it's a 69 Roadrunner, and you're not going to sell that for $5,000. So when I went to look at it, I was like, "All right, so you have an all original, unmolested, fully documented 1969 big block 4-speed optioned 2-door Chrysler. it would be a sin to sell that for 5 grand. And originally, I was trying to I wanted to take the car out to the shop and fix it and list it, make videos of it and sell it, and then just take like 15 or 20% of the sale price of it and use it towards my nonprofit, which is AuxAuto, which is why I'm here promoting this whole thing. But then they decided, her family decided they just want to sell it, and I had the opportunity to buy it. So I was going to do the same thing. I was going to buy it, fix it, sell it, use the money for AuxAuto. But it turns out that it garnered a lot of attention on Facebook and YouTube. So I was like, well, now I don't want to sell the dadgum thing because I like it. I like the story. I like the paperwork behind it. I want to tell the story about it. I want to keep it alive for the next, I don't know, however long I have it. And that's what I did, and that's what I've done so far. Yes, the Man in Black, that's what it's called when it's never been, nothing's been changed about it. That is a car term. My dream car is a 1969 Dodge Charger with a elephant in it. That's my dream car. Yeah, Redneck. I'm gonna do it here in a little bit. We're gonna go look at some of the vehicles we got back there. We, as in me. Yeah, Chris, they work. I'm putting a new fuel tank in this Ford back here. But the 68 300 that you can't really see is having some issues. That is generally, you are correct. In about 2 minutes, we'll go look at them. Appreciate it, Redneck Guy. And I appreciate you following along. So AuxAuto is an automotive nonprofit that I started back in 2021. And basically, I provide financial or mechanical assistance to people that depend on their transportation for a living. Right now, what I'm focusing on is paying the shop bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicle safe or operational. I pay for that stuff. And what I'm trying to do is come on social media, showcase some of the things that I have and the shop that I have and the complex that I call Auxland, and hope to get people to subscribe, follow along. And then maybe one day all of these subscriptions and follows will turn into a way to pay for all these AuxAuto assists. I've done 15 of them so far to the tune of about $15,000. So they average out to about $1,000 a piece. I'd like to get to the point where I'm doing one a month, because that is providing somebody with the ability for them to become successful. For those that depend on their transportation for going to school, getting to work, going to medical appointments, or picking kids up or anything like that. But that's why I'm here. That's my purpose. That's my goal. AuxAuto is a 501c3 in the state of Tennessee. You can look it up on irs.gov. It does exist. I have an EIN. I have a board. I have meetings. Nope, Butters, I was not cooking hot dogs yesterday. I'd like to make a Lightning McQueen car, but what I'd really like to do is make a DeLorean time machine. So anytime you like AuxAuto, you're not just liking me, because that's not why I'm here. You're liking the fact that there's somebody that's promoting an entity that is literally providing other people with the ability to become successful. And that's my whole purpose here. Dadgum, wasn't an 81 DeLorean, John Tag? I feel like if I got a DeLorean though, that would surely help. We're just going to flip-flop here. Perfect timing. So here's the engine for the Charger. It's a 383. That's the engine for the Imperial that I was talking about. It's got a 1969 440. That's actually been bored out 30 over, but now it's sitting because that project is in hiatus. That's the heads for the 383. We'll start over here with the 81 Corvette. This one was donated to my automotive nonprofit, although we're still not 100% sure what we're going to do with this, whether I'm going to fix it and sell it or if I'm going to just take it as a 100% donation and turn it into like a burnout car or something fun, promotion-wise, wrap it. I don't know. Not sure yet. This is my fake gas station AuxAuto that I built around the for a little bit of privacy. Chris, that's your dream car right there? 81 Corvette or just any Corvette? This one's going to take a little bit of work. So rolling, yeah, turn it into a Hot Wheel. That's a good one. I don't dislike that idea. Interior is rough too. But I did get the engine running in this. I was fueling it through the carburetor. So I know that it runs. And I put new tires on it. That's all I've done. Here's the fuel tank for the truck. So this truck, the people that own this truck, the family that owns it they've had this truck since it was new. They bought it new. And it's kind of like a family heirloom at this point. And it caught fire about 5 or 6 years ago. You can kind of tell. And what happened is the fire burned up the ignition coil, the electronic ignition, the carburetor, the distributor, all the wires, everything over here, the wiring harness that goes to the electronic ignition control module. And I found a truck up in Kentucky that had all of this stuff because the guy that owned that truck takes the hood, the front clip, the fenders, the beds, the doors, and he puts them on new Fords. And everything I needed was under the hood. And when I explained what I was doing and that the whole thing is an automotive nonprofit, he's like, so you're saying you're doing this stuff for free for the owner of this truck? And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the idea of it because it's something that's special to them. And that's kind of part of why I've got this whole nonprofit. And he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to accept your money. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, if you're going to do that for free, I'm not going to take your money. He goes, I'll just give it to you. I'll donate it. Just consider it a donation. And I was like, dude, are you sure? And he popped open the beer and he said, yep, that's final. That's what we're going to do. And then we sat around and talked about trucks for a while. Once I get this video done, I've got part of that video is going to be a tribute to Scott for doing that, which is pretty awesome. That's my tool chest I've owned since the 90s. I do have to seal this off, though, because that's unnecessary for this model. But I also like how they painted it. All right, moving on. We got a 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner. This one's still warm because I drove it around for about 2 hours today. Oh, it's so warm. It's got its original 1969 Plymouth Roadrunner 383. Yes, sir, we're getting there. We are getting there. You know, I just drove this car. It actually might start up without it even getting in there. Coyote and the Roadrunner. This is such a smooth driving car too. It ain't pretty. It's dirty. It's original. Original paint, original engine, original interior, original vinyl. But man, it's a cruiser. 335 horsepower. Plymouth Roadrunner 383. Redneck guy, you talking about like this, the Corvette? Next one we got here is the Chrysler 300. You see what I did there? This one I'm still having some issues with, but I think I just need to charge the battery up. This comes standard. 1968 comes standard with the DJI drone. Unprecedented. One of one option. You know what? I should put this right here. This is the 68 300 drone edition. One of the cool things I like about this car is that when I bought it, the lady that I bought it from, her husband passed away. Well, that's not what I like about it. But she took the plastic off the seats. Where's my flashlight at? That were put on there from the dealership. So the seats are in great condition. I've got a piece of plastic back here, but the rear seats are the same way. So when I brought it home, I took the plastic off. That's not the plastic. So the interior is in really good shape on this car. That's the 68 300. And this is the 1969 Dodge Charger. It currently houses the Black Sheep, which is what I named this 1973 440 out of an RV. Because it doesn't really fit. And I painted it black. Another thing I like to point out about this car, because there is a part of me that wants to restore this car back to its fender code, which is a B5 blue, black vinyl top, white hat special car. But the paint job on this wasn't cheap, and it was done in 2007, but this is not decals. This is painted on. So they had to do the white and then the blue and then all the layers on it. Same thing with here. So I don't really want to get rid of that. Plus, I'm a huge fan of this car as it is, and I don't really want to change that. You know, this might actually start up just with a. Let's see if it'll cold start with just a key turn. How about that? Oh yeah, how about that? Yeah, I can't go in the window. I got what doctors call a little bit of a weight problem. Smells like gas in here. One other interesting thing that I like to point out, if you've been here before, I explain this all the time, but this Roadrunner has its original 383. This Charger has a 440 from a 1973 RV. I've got the same exhaust on both these vehicles. This one goes from the manifold to an H-pipe to a glass pack, comes over the axle and out the back. This one comes from the manifold to an X-pipe, glass packs, and it spits out right here in front of the rear. But there's such a huge difference between an original 383 and a detuned 73, and a 69 383 and a detuned 73 440. That's one of the reasons that I'm trying to get that original 383 rebuilt and fixed. I had an oil pressure issue that I'm trying to diagnose and fix. But I think this thing would sound so much better with the original 383 in it than the 73 440. So Roland, that is a 1974 Chrysler New Yorker Brougham. Yes, Brougham. Yes. And if you say Brougham, that is exactly how you have to say it. You can't say 1975 Chrysler New Yorker Brougham. You have to say a 1974 Chrysler New Yorker Brougham. Yeah. This has a 440 in it also, but it's a 74 440. Similar to the Charger. Would you like me to say what kind of car this is again? This is a 1974 Chrysler New Yorker Brougham. Here's a Brougham. I do like the fact that most of these interior lights work. That's the 74, that's the 69, that's the Charger, the 68, the truck, the 81. I've got a 88 Fifth Avenue over here that I jumped and I bent the body. And no, I'm no good at math. But this place, this is Aux Land, the automotive complex that houses AuxAuto, the automotive nonprofit that provides financial mechanical assistance to people that depend on their transportation for a living. This building here is where I sleep. I have a memorabilia room in there, and I got a music room up there on the 3rd floor. But this is where that's where I edit videos and do all my stuff out here. This is where I work on my own projects. And then I coordinate with shops to try to get people's vehicles fixed. I'm a small automotive nonprofit. AuxAuto is a 501c3 in the state of Tennessee. It is tax exempt. It is discoverable by the IRS. I do take donations, but I don't come on here asking for them. What I do on the socials is I just try to get people to follow along and subscribe, and hopefully one day all those subscriptions turn into a way to pay for these AuxAuto assists. Excuse me. 6'7", the man in black. That's the distinguished way to do a 6'7", yes. Like a Brougham. But that's why I'm here. That's what I promote. I wear this racing jacket and promote, showcase some of the vehicles that I have because I'm just not as interesting enough to try to get people to hang out for a while. Although I am a big Dukes fan, big Mopar fan. I grew up a GM kid. It's all Dad ever bought were Buicks, Chevys. But I'm also, I've got a deep fascination with the Ford Motor Company. And I had a lot of family that worked for Ford back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And that's what I'm doing here. This is my signing off spiel. I'm also out in the middle of nowhere. Let's just bask in the quietness for a second. Speaking of that, Raymond Purcell, is there any chance you're from Kentucky? Oh, you want to see the Malibu? No, nobody wants to see the Malibu. A10 Warthog, that is it. So, any chance it's like Hickman County? Lexington, okay. My grandmother's mother is a Purcell, and there's a lot of genealogy with the Purcell family that I've traced way back to like Carroll County, Tennessee, Hickman, Kentucky. Raymond, like Purcell. Oh, I guess it is spelled different. Maggie Purcell, William Purcells. Miss Purcell in Virginia. William Purcell was your grandfather, like the same William. Was his dad also William? William Harrison, William L., married to a Briscoe, Elizabeth Ralph, William Frank. I don't know. I saw Purcell in Kentucky. Who knows, man? You know how that genealogy stuff is. And then my grandmother's mother, who was a Purcell, married a Singleton. My grandmother was a Singleton. But yeah, we've traced the Purcells back to, oh man, William Ladonis Purcell, Abel Purcell, who actually owned property in Rutherford County. Yeah, maybe. That's pretty wild, though. Anywho, that's what I'm doing here. I've given you my spiel. I'm not gonna bore you with that. But I got TikTok rolling on one device. I've got YouTube on the other one. I try to do lives as much as possible because I'm honestly, when I first started doing it, I just thought of it as a promotional means. But there's a lot of people that have come in here pretty regular, and a lot of shops that have been in here, and I've made some pretty cool connections, and I think it's pretty valuable for my little automotive nonprofit. I'm not here just to promote me. I'm literally trying to promote a nonprofit that provides other people the ability to become successful. I like seeing people succeed, and I know there's a lot of nonprofits that help feed people and they clothe people. But I mean, what about the people that are just trying to get by in life, that they work a job but they can't get to it, or they're trying to go to a medical appointment and they can't get to it? There's nothing really that does anything like that. So that's what I decided to do. I like cars. I like nonprofit stuff. I've been involved with so many nonprofit things that I think to date I've been a part of organizations that have donated or contributed about $3.5 million to other things, whether it be a nonprofit movie company that I was a part of, family foundations, and now my own nonprofit. But that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. I'm signing off. I'm going to be around for a little bit because, I think I might grill some turkey sausage and eat it. But then I'm going to do this again tomorrow night, more than likely. But I do appreciate you hanging out. You being here, anybody being here, anybody following along, anybody liking, anybody subscribing. At the instead of asking people for money, I literally just ask people to follow along and support. And hopefully one day all that support turns into a way to pay for these AuxAuto assists and make this whole project thing a success. Oh, and also, right now I'm paying the shop bills for people that can't afford to make their vehicle safe or operational. But another wing of AuxAuto, I would love to build a facility similar to a storage unit that has a bunch of bays where people can rent them out monthly or hourly. They can keep their projects in them. They can work on them. So for people that are like in school maybe, or they live in apartments that don't allow people to work on cars in parking lots, they literally have an outlet that's like a storage unit, but it's specific for working on vehicles, where they can rent out a 4-post lift. They can keep their tools there. They can keep their car there. That's something down the line that I'm working on too. But anyway, I'm yapping. I am just yapping. But I appreciate you being here. We'll do it again, and I'll see you soon.